Hello, everyone. It's Thursday. Happy Thursday. I hope that you're having an extraordinary day. Today, we are practicing the law of intention and desire, and I'm going to continue on with my journey to let you know how I was able to practice the law of intention and desire as a result of my experience with this break-in that occurred in my home about a week and a half ago. And, keeping in mind that even though we are defining and allocating a different day each week to each of these different spiritual laws, we will experience no doubt at all that the fact that we have this awareness of these laws, that these laws are going to come into practice every day, regardless of the day. And this law, the law of intention and desire, is no different. As a result of my experience, this absolutely came to the surface because suddenly now I was faced with the fact that what are my intentions and desires as a result of this experience? Well, first and foremost, my intention was that this experience wasn't going to change me in a derogatory or a negative way, which it totally had the potential to do. When something happens and it shakes us up a little bit, sometimes we can be defined by that fear. And I didn't want that for myself. My intention was to become stronger as a result of this experience, to become more powerful as a result of this experience. I made a conscious decision not to allow this event to define or change me in a negative way. And I had to give my focus and attention to that because so easily it could happen where suddenly I'm more fearful. And I was fearful. There's no doubt about it. I was absolutely shaken as a result of my experience. I was jumpy. I was paranoid. I was nervous. Every time I walked into my home, I was concerned, did I leave something that way or somebody else here? Did they come back? I mean, when something happens like this, potentially, if we're not centered and we're not focused, we can become derailed by it. And certainly my biggest, most important desire and intention was that that was not going to happen, that I was going to continue forward. I was once again going to find peace. I was going to recreate my Zen energy in my home. And I have to share with you, that was a big, huge desire and intention because the energy in my home, which is always so peaceful and Zen-like, was disrupted. I did not feel peaceful in my own home. I felt like there was this lingering energy of an intruder here. And I needed to do something about that. Not to mention the fact that there were lots of different people that brought lots of different types of energy. The police were here fingerprinting and doing all kinds of things. All of this energy was like inside my home. So another desire and intention of mine was to clear the energy so that I could bring back my own personal chi, my own personal peace, my own personal safety and security. And there were a lot of things that I had to make mental and actual notes about. Even though it wasn't Thursday, even though it wasn't the practice of the law of desire and intention, I found myself doing and practicing this law to keep myself focused and moving forward. So of course, when I think about the law of desire and intention, it's always about the different facets or elements of my life. And for all of us, that's different. I have many. I have health and wellness, I have career, I have fitness, I have travel, I have family, I have relationship, I have romantic relationship, and I have my home. And my home sector is what I was giving my full and undivided attention to. And so obviously, going along with the practice of desire and intention, I had to obviously secure my home. So there was a lot of putting in motion of repairs to windows, repairs to locks, hiring a security company to come in and secure the home. And then it was more. Then it was notifying the HOA to let them know that, hey, a burglary took place and maybe we need to implement a neighborhood watch. And then I took it another step and I started going to my neighbors' homes and I introduced myself to say, hey, you know, I'm your neighbor from across the way and I just wanted to let you know that my home had been burglarized, and I wanted them to be on notice. It was interesting because I absolutely shared my intention and desire with the police officers that were here and letting them know, saying, hey, maybe you want to alert the people across the way, across the lake, that there was a burglary. And their response to me was, well, we don't want to upset the neighborhood. And I thought to myself, upset the neighborhood? I'm like, don't you think we should put people on high alert? And clearly, based on the conversation that I was having with the police officers, that wasn't something that they had an intention or desire to do. So ultimately, because I am who I am, and I care about my own personal safety and the safety and security of the people around me, I had a desire and intention to go knock on people's doors to alert them, to say, hey, be on the lookout, pay attention. Heighten your level of awareness now, because if it happened to me, it could happen to you. And if we're all paying attention, then we could stop it dead in its tracks. So these were all the things that I was thinking about as it related to the law of desire and intention. I even took it a step further, obviously, because ultimately then my desires and intention were to recoup some of the loss that I experienced, the financial loss. So I had to do some research and find out, you know, if window repair was covered under insurance, and the loss of the items that were taken, were those recoupable from the insurance that I held. And so I had to set all of those things in motion. So while this event was devastating to me, I absolutely had to practice the law of desire and intention to reassert myself in this facet of my life so that I could remain steadfast to what's most important to me and what I most desire in this element of my life, so that I could continue to live my life the way I choose to live my life. So I had to reestablish the trajectory, if you will, for the facet, the element of my home life that had been completely disrupted as a result of this event. And that is also part of the law of intention and desire. You know, when something happens in our world, we need to be mindful of all of the different elements that come into play, where we are, where we want to be, and how do we realign that trajectory? How do we set it? How do we realign our behaviors so that we can achieve what we desire most? And that is what I learned as a result of my experience, and that is how I was able to incorporate the practice of desire and intention into this particular circumstance, and the different steps that were required of me to be able to recenter myself so that I could become and continue to live the life that I choose to live. Defining ourselves, defining what's most important to ourselves, and setting that trajectory, from my perspective, is the most worthy practice of them all. Because this is where we create the life that we want to live. And circumstances and events that take place in our life may completely destroy an element of our life that we may find ourselves having to rebuild. And to rebuild, we're going to have to redefine. And to redefine, we have to think about who we are on the inside and what is most important to us. And how do we set that intention so that we can achieve that which is most important to us? That is truly the practice of desire and intention. So I hope that as you go through your life, you're spending time thinking about the different elements of your own life, the different circumstances or events that may be cropping up in one particular element of your own life. Maybe it's not what you wanted, and yet this is where you are. Reestablish yourself. Think about who you are, how you want to live your life, how you want to set your trajectory, and start doing that, giving thought and consideration to how that should be and how that should look in your own life, so that you are continuously defining the life that you want to live. That's what this practice is all about. I wish you tremendous luck today. Carve out this time for yourself. You're worthy of it. You're deserving of it. And pursuing the things that you desire most is our life's work. I wish you an extraordinary day. I hope that everything goes absolutely outstanding for you today, and we'll check in with you tomorrow. Bye.